Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dear colleagues, I'm going to tackle the Gaza issue from a different angle. You know, most of you know me, that I have been in the movement. I have been an avid advocate for the Red Cross movement for over 4 decades, and have always committed to the principles of the Red Cross and also to the humanitarian values, and always believed in the importance of disseminating international humanitarian law. Over the past 40-something years, I've seen the movement raise lots of slogans, and one of the slogans was, "We are the voice of the victims." Unfortunately, so far, we haven't heard any voices. Everybody's been silent, and on top of that, they have been blind. If you're dumb, at least you can see what's happening and report it. But unfortunately, lots of people are losing their lives, and we're just watching, doing nothing. And if we're doing anything, it is in proportion to what's taking place on the ground, is really, you cannot really mention it. Then another slogan was, "We're leaving no one behind." How dare we say that when we are leaving millions in Gaza? We are leaving over 8,000 children that have been killed, and most of them, they are still under the rubble, and yet we're doing nothing. Yesterday, the whole world celebrated the International Children's Day, and what a day to celebrate when you've lost so many lives in Gaza. Again, the international community and we in the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement have been very shy to come forward and talk loudly and speak against these atrocities. The events in Gaza was an eye-opener. An eye-opener because we could see the double standard. When the invasion or the interference of the Russian troops in Ukraine took place, everybody spoke against it. Everybody wanted to help. Everybody came forward. And Ukrainian refugees were treated differently to Afghani, Pakistani, or Syrian refugees. And, for us, we feel sad because we believe in the movement. We believe in the Human Rights Charter. The first paragraph of the Human Rights Charter, it says, all individuals are free and we are all equal. I can't see equality. I can see that people are treated differently depending on their origin, depending on their skin, depending on their religion, and depending on everything else. The whole world now, the international organizations, they scale down their activities in Asia and in Africa because there are no funds available. Most of the funds are being channeled to Europe, and they're pulling out, and our partners are apologizing because they don't have enough funds available for the projects that they promised to implement in the next few years. Palestinian life is the same as anybody's life. We all sitting here in this hall, I think we're all the same. No one is different from the other. But again, what we see is Palestinian life does not matter. One minister, Israeli minister, said, no, they're not human. They are animal humans, and they have to be treated as animals. So this is how they are regarded, and this is the action that is taken against the poor Gazans that have nothing to do with with what's happening. If you call this self-defense, I do believe that self-defense is legal, but it has come out of proportion. This is not self-defense, it is genocide, and it's ethnic cleansing. You're killing everybody. You're bombing houses. You're bombing all the essential life necessities. I remember when Russia turned the water and the electricity on Ukraine, first thing that took place was the president of the chair of the European Union, she came out as the spokesperson for the United States, and they deplored this action, and they branded it as a terrorist action. What's taking place in Gaza now? No water, no electricity, no fuel. Over 21 hospitals are shut down. Targeting of hospitals, all hospitals. They are killing people inside the hospitals. The medical staff. Emblem, we believe that the emblem could protect you. No, it doesn't protect you. It doesn't. And it reminds me of, first of all, the first article in the Geneva Conventions, it states that state party that are parties that are state to this Geneva Convention, they will protect and ensure the protection and the respect of the international humanitarian law. Where are the signatory to the Geneva Conventions? Where are they? Disappeared? All of a sudden nobody wants to talk? We can't keep silent. We can't see children being killed and massacred and you keep silent, because that makes us just as criminal as the person that is taking the, doing the killing and so on. And, I want to quote a Scythian prince, Anarchus, in the year 6050 before Christ, when he said, that was over 2,600, 700 years ago. He said that written laws are like spider web. If you're weak, you get entangled by the spider web, you can't get out. If you're strong, you penetrate it and you get out. So if you're rich and if you're strong, you can do whatever you want. Do we, as international community that are concerned with humanity, do we keep quiet? Do we allow this without saying anything? I think it's time that we say something. The first thing that we should do is we should condemn the genocide and the ethnic cleansing that is taking place now in Gaza. Also, the targeting of hospitals, the targeting of mosques and churches, the targeting of schools. UNRWA, United Nations offices, are also being targeted. In our culture and in our understanding, if you're scared, you take a shelter in a church, in a mosque, and you think that you are safe, or in a place that is protected by the Geneva Conventions. But it seems that nobody is protected by the Geneva Conventions, and this war is blowing out of proportion. Unless we have something to say, it's going to get worse. And how can we just go to sleep not thinking of all the children that are losing their lives for nothing they have done? These children, they had dreams of becoming older, of going to university, getting married, having a family. We killed their dream. That's it. They are no longer there with us. And we should call on an immediate ceasefire. We've done this in the past. In the past, when I attended so many conferences for over 40 years, and we've always called that we need safe corridors to ensure the passage of humanitarian aid. Why don't we call for humanitarian passage? Why don't we put pressure on our governments? Why don't we put pressure on the international community? Everybody is expecting that we should say something. You know the first thing that comes into the victim's mind when something like this happens? The Red Cross or the Red Crescent. And we have been absent. We have not been there. We've failed the victims. We're failing everybody. So please, we should make a move. We should at least stop this, crazy war and the killing of innocent people. On top of this, we should condemn breaches of international humanitarian law and allow the unfettered, unconditional access of water, electricity, fuel, medical supplies, because what's going into Gaza is only the tip of the iceberg. It's not enough. Under normal circumstances, Gaza needed about 500 convoys, trucks per day. Now they're allowing 20, and they are in need of 2,000-3,000 trucks per day. So far, we heard from Tanya that only 1,185 in 42 days. This is ridiculous. Children are dying. Don't keep it on your conscience. Speak out now. Otherwise, it's going to be late and you say, oh, we wish we did something. And why, the occupying forces are doing what they're doing? Because we kept quiet the first time. Every time they did something, we kept quiet. We should speak out. We cannot stay silent. And in conclusion, what I want to say is, all we want is the standardization of ethical and legal criteria and norms. This is all we want. Please treat everybody the same. We'd be happy. If the Palestinians are breaking the law, bring them to the court and make sure that they are punished. But we can't leave people that violate the international humanitarian law and not do anything. A professor at a Lebanese university, he put an ad, and he sent an email to all his students saying that I want to apologize to my students for teaching them international humanitarian law and for pushing that they should learn it and so on. Now I'm sorry because it doesn't work. It's the law of the strong where the weak just try to shelter under the IHL and the strong make sure that he just walks all over it. Nobody should be above the law. The perpetrators, the criminals, the atrocities that have been carried out, they should be brought to justice. I thank you very much for your attention, and I thought, I would tackle, as I said, the issue from a different side. I want to appeal to your humanity because it seems that lots of people all over the world, they have lost their humanity. We need to start humanizing the human being again. We should introduce in the curriculum of schools something on humanity because we're forgetting what humanity is. We're treating each other like animals. We don't care. Even animals, a group of, any group of animals, they flock together and they stay together. We do not do this. We turn against each other. We want to kill each other. Please, this has got to stop, and there should be some kind of a declaration coming out, at least to show that we stand with the victims, we stand and we still believe the international humanitarian law should work and will work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for giving me the time to address this, all my colleagues here.
Thank you, Dr. الحديد.